What's up? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, and I am live on location at James Joyce in Ybor City, getting some drinks with my dude, the comedian that is killing it, not just in the Bay Area, but overall. My dude, Cam Bertrand, is on Hoppe Hour. What's up, bro?
Hey, what up, man? How you living?
I'm doing good, man. So I've known you for about 4 years now, and it's just crazy to see you keep on grinding, but just rising so fast. Like, when I think of comedians that deserve it, you're one of them.
I appreciate that, man. It's a long grind. It's crazy that we've known each other for 4 years because, I don't know, I feel like sometimes I just have my head in the dirt. Like, all I do is comedy, and then I look up and I go, oh, it's been 6 years.
I know, it's weird when you look at old work, and it's almost like you go, man, I used to be that person. Like, my show used to be terrible, and now it's just bad. But what I'm saying is, you look at what you did before, and it's crazy that, like, time goes by and you keep getting better.
I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. You'd be mad if you look back and you were like, I used to be somebody.
So, you won Florida's best comedian. How does that feel?
It's Florida's funniest. I don't know if I'm the best comedian. I know I won that thing, but I don't know. It feels good. It was definitely something that I wanted to win because all the guys that I looked up to had won it. So now I feel like I got a seat at the table, you know, to be with the JBs, the Ken Millers, the Preacher Lawsons, the Eric Myers, like to sit with those guys who are great comics. Like, not even just good for Florida, good in the sense of, like, when you go on the road, you don't want to follow those guys. And that's the echelon that I wanted to be in since I started. So to win and be mentioned in the same breath as those guys, it's exciting.
Do you think there's any comics that look at you and go, they don't want to go after you?
Yeah. But, like, it takes a lot to get to that. It takes a lot to, and that's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to be like, man, I put fear in your heart. Like, You don't want to follow me, but, like, there's guys like that for me. Like, I know the bravado thing is like, oh, I'm not afraid to follow anybody, but there's dudes out there who you see their set and you go, that's going to be an issue. Like, if I have to go up after that, it's going to take 5 minutes just to get them back to regular energy. Like,
are there comedians that when you're around them, you're nervous because they're so good at what they do that it's kind of intimidating? Because, like, for me, like, whenever I'm around, like, Mike Calta, he's so good at what he does and he's so popular that I want to act normal and act like he's just another human, but you look up to how popular they are. I don't know if there's someone like that for you in comedy.
There used to be a lot of dudes like that. Like, there was definitely a lot of guys where I was like, man, I'm afraid to be around this guy because I don't want to say the wrong thing, that you get clowned by somebody that you look up to and you're like, oh God, now he thinks I'm the weirdo, or he thinks I'm dumb, or he thinks I'm not funny or whatever. But now it's definitely gotten to the point where this is going to sound like a humble brag. I've gotten to hang out with Dave Chappelle, and, like, once you do that and you go, oh, he's a regular person and he's somebody I looked up to as a god. So, like, at that point, then you look at everybody else and you go, oh, we're just all regular.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's very talented people, but you go, at the end of the day, they're still people. You can still find something in common with them, laugh with them, joke with them. Like, you can't be afraid to say the dumb thing. You know, if you get clowned for it, you get clowned for it. Like,
you don't have to say any names, and I think you shouldn't say any names, but are there comics that you were really pumped to meet and it happened to be like a case of you don't want to meet your heroes?
Yeah. It's way less, there's way less of that. Because, like, most of the time when you meet somebody that you looked up to, most of the time they're cool. It's only happened to me a couple times where you meet somebody and you're like, man, I really liked you, and you were not the guy I thought you were.
So you know how, like, in radio, like, all the guys begin by doing all the wacky things and being the punching bag, and then over time it kind of grows less and less and people begin to respect you more? Does that happen in comedy, like, where people bust balls and talk shit, or is it different than radio?
That's the same thing. I mean, I don't know much about the radio process, but you definitely, when you start comedy, you're a rookie. You know, you get shit on for a little while. Like, you have to take your L's, take your lumps. And then after a while, yeah, they respect you, because comedy is one of those things where, like, you don't start off killing. You start off, you know, kind of bad, and then you progress. And once you get to a certain point, they go, all right, you're in. Like, you're a guy now. So almost like radio, when you take your L's and, like, when you do the wacky things and you're the punching bag, then after a while, they got to stop doing it.
The thing that I think we both have in common that's really good is we both have very supportive moms that believe in our dream. And I feel bad for people that don't have supportive moms, because there's nothing that beats when your mom believes in what you're doing, even during the tough times or the grinding times.
Man, I've never agreed with you more. My mom is the greatest human being I've ever met. In 25 years, there's nobody better than her. She, when I won the Florida's Funniest thing, I called her, and all I could, like, get out was I did it. And she was like, what'd you do? Like, what? I don't have bond money. Like, what did you do? And I was like, I won. And she started crying. I started crying. Like, it's just a good feeling when, like, that one person believes in you enough for everybody. Like, if nobody else in the world believed in me, I'd go, my mom sees something that they don't see. Like, you know, we got lucky that we got moms like that.
So for me, my show can get raunchy. The Bone is obviously raunchy at times. So it's kind of weird to think that my mom listens to everything I do, and it kind of makes me cringe. Like, I wish she wouldn't at times. Do you have that? Do you ever have it where there's times where it's weird to think that your mom hears your raunchy jokes? Or is it different where she's more... It's not that my mom's weird about it, but is it where your mom's more cool about it? Or is she weird about your dirty jokes?
Oh, man. She's heard me say some outlandish things.
That's what I'm saying.
She's cool about it, but, like, she's definitely not like, oh, I really like that joke, or, oh, I really like that story. I told a story last time I was at Side Splitters about how I used to have sex in the back of the Jeep. Like, it was her Jeep. Like, at the time I was in high school. And so after the show, she was like, I heard what you said about the Jeep. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I love you so much. I'm so sorry that I did that in the back of your work vehicle.
See, for me, my mom's ultra religious, and she wanted me to be ultra religious. So when she hears about my sex life on the radio or on the show, I just can't even believe that she knows everything because it's so cringeworthy. It's just, I think it's that mother-son relationship where, like, they want to think that their sons are innocent angels, but we're really deviants.
My mom never had that. My older brother, he was a wild child. So, like, she was more my best friend. Like, I could tell her anything. Like, there was times where, you know, something was going bad or something. She'd be the first person I'd tell. And it was never, like, there's never been no secrets. Like, there's times where, like, you don't want to tell your mom something, but it would take more energy for me to lie to her. So, like, yeah, my mom knows everything about my life. It's low-key weird. Like, I've been in relationships where they're like, you're too close to your mom. And I'm like, well, she's been here way before you. Like, I have to tell her everything.
I'm the same way. I'm where it's weird when you're dating a girl, and this is any girl you ever date, and this is what's happened to me, is you end up hanging out with your girl more than talking to your mom, and you try to find that healthy balance. And with my two exes, they were like, you're too close to your mom. I'm like, you don't get it. Like, you just, if you have a good family, there's nothing wrong with that.
For sure, man. Like, when I'm going through something, I can call my mama and be like, hey, Ma, can we go to Hooters, get some food, and have some beers? And I'll just tell her everything. She'll give me the best advice that I need. And, yeah, man, it's weird when people don't understand. I mean, I guess some people don't have that relationship with their parents, so I guess I get it. But, I don't know. We both got lucky to be close enough to our moms to where we could tell them stuff and have that outlet.
How cool are you on social media apps or dating apps or in general? Do girls think it's cool that you're a comedian?
Girls love comics. Yeah, that is a weird stereotype that's true. But I also don't have, like, sex appeal. Like, I look young, so I don't get, like, the after show, like, you want to hang out? But they're all like, you're so cute. And, like, I get the cute thing, and they're always like, they want to hang out and stuff. But I don't know. It's a different thing. Like, I'm a different person on stage than off. Like, the comedy is the exact same. Like, the thoughts that I say on stage, I'm the same person, but, like, the interaction is so much different. Like, my confidence on stage, like, I love talking to people with a microphone on the stage, but when I'm one-on-one with a girl after a show, I'm just like, thanks. Hey, I appreciate it. Like, I'm a weirdo.
Well, it's weird, too. I think you need to have the experience of not, like, an older 50-year-old woman, but, like, in her mid-30s, someone that's a fan. It's the most unique experience because you drive home with shame, but you go, that was an experience I can never take away from myself, literally.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I've had flukes. I was with a 48-year-old woman.
Me
and
too.
Like, after a show, and it was crazy. I called my best friend up and I was like, my New Jersey number's 48. And he was
I thought you were going to say you called up your mom. I'm like, that's a little weird.
Nah, that's funny. Because at the time, she was older than my mom's age. Like that was weird to me. Like, at the time, I was probably 22. Yeah.
You want to hear something weird? Well, obviously I'm weird, so it's not going to be a surprise. I lost my virginity. I was 21 in Cleveland to a Rover fan that was 49.
But to lose your virginity in Cleveland is the funniest part of that story.
It was right next to the Cleveland airport. Guess what song? Because some people have sex to Marvin Gaye or jazz music. Guess what song was playing? Freak a Leak by P.D. Pablo.
That is hilarious. I had sex to Going Downtown, Baby, Yo Street in a Range Rover. That's the first song I had sex to.
That's better. Freak a Leak is a weird song. Now, are you into current hip-hop, or do you find yourself listening to old hip-hop? Because I found myself listening to, like, maybe rap up to like 2017, 2016.
I get why people don't listen to new rap. I get it, but there are new rappers that are that old echelon.
Like who?
Roddy Ricch. I absolutely am a huge fan of Roddy Ricch. I like what A Boogie with the Hoodie's doing. There's a lot of new rappers where like they got lyrics, but I get the mumble rap thing. I get why mumble rap's annoying, but mumble rap's not meant for us. It's meant for these kids who were born in the 2000s. You understand? If you're born in the 2000s, you're 19 years old right now?
Yeah.
That's insane to me. These are adults. Like,
my thing is, I don't like the auto-tune. Like, when Chief Keef and Lil Durk first began making music at the beginning of this decade, there wasn't as much auto-tune. But now I listen to like Lil Durk's new music, and it sounds nothing like 2012 Lil Durk. Everything's auto-tuned where it sounds like a mouse. And to me, I think it was Drill-X was the name of the format from Illinois. I sound so Caucasian talking about Chicago rap. But like everything just sounds the same now.
Yeah, I definitely think there's influences that have been copied and mimicked, but that's been all time.
As people can tell that we're recording in Ybor, and there's like a million things going on, which is just... What do you think of Ybor?
Man, this place is insane. How are we outside and still alive? This Ybor, man. I used to come here when the Ritz wasn't the Ritz. Like when it was... That sounds so old to be like, no, I used to remember this place. This place could not... You couldn't walk up and down the street without seeing a homeless person or somebody throw up or a fight or the shoe licker.
My thing is this. The Ritz has a ton of beautiful women, but number one, they just yell out daddy issues. Like you can just see that they have daddy issues. And number two, I feel like the next morning you're going to have to go to an STD clinic, which is right down the block in Ybor. There's a ton of them. It's just, I get weird vibes from the girls at the Ritz, and I feel like they think the same about me.
Absolutely. Nobody's going to the Ritz who's not a bad person. You have issues. You're supposed to have issues at the Ritz. If you go to the Ritz and you're just a good Christian person, they'll kick you out. They're like, you belong here.
My favorite is that song, what's that song from like 2002 about pop the pussy, my neck, my back?
My back, lick my pussy and my crack.
My favorite Reds memory was the whole place was just chanting about pussy eating. There's no greater moment and there's no defining moment of Florida and Ybor City than when a bunch of drunken millennials on a Monday night are just talking about oral sex.
I mean, yeah, but that's Ybor. That song is what Ybor is. My neck, my back. That's all of Ybor. Like every time I think of Ybor, that song is just gonna play in my head.
Have you ever gone to any of the other bars during the week?
Yeah, probably. But those are days that I try not to remember.
That's the thing, too, is I have never driven drunk, and I never will. But the problem is I live in St. Pete, so if I do go to Ybor, it's like $40 for Uber, but I'd rather pay $40 than $18,000 and lose my radio job.
Yeah, I mean, DUIs are bad, but I also can't lie and say that I've never driven drunk. I mean, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's not a good thing to do, but a $40 Uber and then a $40 Uber back after paying $100 at the bar. Come on, dog.
Dude, I pregame. I go to Wawa, get wine for $5.99, chug that bitch because it's sweet, pink Moscato, what's up? And then have 3 natty lemonades. Then I'm drunk going into the bar and I get 2 White Claws.
The most insane thing about that is that you have a plan. When you go out, you're like, I'm going to pregame this way. I'm going to drink this amount of alcohol. I'm going to drink this. And then at the club, 2 White Claws. And then you're like, I have reached my capacity for liquor. Like,
oh, no, but then people give me free drinks and I'm fine. But what I'm saying is you got to save money because nothing like going to Club Prana and you get 3 Bud Lights and the bill's like $42. That's humbling.
Yeah.
You ever had that where you're just like, oh, I'll take a Bud Light and a shot, and then a girl comes by, yeah, I'll get you a shot too, and then you're like, oh, fuck, it's $40.
Yeah, man, that's alcohol. Like, when you start buying your own alcohol, that's when you realize it's expensive. And so, like, after shows, when I first started, people would buy me drinks, and then I was like, oh, well, I'm going to start buying my own stuff. And I was like, this sucks.
Now, I don't know if this was just a Chicago thing, but I miss a good underage drinking party at a house.
I've been preaching this. House parties need a comeback.
Damn right.
Dude, I miss house parties. My man, you miss house parties? Yeah, you miss house parties where you used to pull up and you didn't know half the people there, but you were like, I hope nobody start no shit. Thanks.
That bartender had no idea what you're talking about.
I know, it's just fun. I like doing that. That's really fun to me. It's like including somebody in a conversation that doesn't want to be in the conversation, just because they feel uncomfortable, but they're like, haha, yeah. And I'm like, you laughed at a thing. I could have been like, you a Nazi? And he'd have been like, haha, yeah. And I'd be like,
yeah, whatever, dude.
Yeah, you don't even know what you just agreed to. That's like signing the terms and conditions without reading it. You're just like, yeah, I guess.
Or every time I go to the Wawa on 22nd Avenue in St. Pete, I get asked how tall I am, and I'm sick of it.
Are you sick of it?
If it's a beautiful girl on Tinder, or if it's a girl in general that has a vagina, yeah, that's cool. But I mean, I'm sick of like the dude, and it's the same type of dude. Messy shirt, looks like he just came from work, smells, getting a hoagie and an iced tea.
That's a very specific man. You know what sucks is there's so many of those guys in Florida.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I hate that that's a Florida stereotype of but like mesh shirt in general. If you go to a store and you buy a mesh shirt, you should immediately get probation. Like, you should be on probation for 6 months. Like, they should be like, you have issues.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're on probation already.
That's fair. Who let them off of house arrest to go get this mesh shirt?
Well, they're like, okay, you can go to Wawa and get a hoagie. That's fine.
You can wear mesh shirts, but for you to wear a mesh shirt, you have to have made it yourself. That's the only way I'll let you wear a mesh shirt is if you sewed it at your house, because at least then you earned it.
Well, I know I live in a bad neighborhood when there's a cop always outside of the Wawa and inside of the Wawa. So there's a neighborhood bar that I walk to and I get drunk at, and then I walk home. And when I go to that Wawa to get a hoagie at like 1 a.m, they probably know I'm drunk, but I walk in so robotic and just like, I'm like trying to figure out what I want to order on the touch thing at Wawa. It's a whole process.
I love how much you love Wawa. I mean, to me,
it's so cheap.
Wawa's like, I give it like a 7. Like, it's fine. Like,
yeah, it's better than 7-Eleven.
Is it? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the dirty Tampa in me, but man, a 7-Eleven hot dog is like a 9. I love
their taquitos are a bomb.
I mean, it depends. There's terrible taquitos. Sometimes they burn them because them employees don't get paid enough to care about the taquitos.
The 7-Eleven in Ybor is solid.
Oh, yeah, the one on the corner. That's because there's homeless people eating there constantly. Like, that's their meal. So
but you know what's funny about that? There's a dude that has a cat. Have you seen the dude outside of there that has the cat? And he wants money to feed the cat. I was on a date with a girl, believe it or not, and she was like, I'll go and get your cat a can of food. So she went inside, and the guy looked pissed that he wasn't getting money, and that cat ate that can of food in 2 seconds.
The funniest thing about that is if that cat were hungry enough, that cat would eat that man. Do you understand? Cats don't care about your feelings. Like, if that cat were really hungry, that cat would destroy that homeless guy.
There's a crazy amount of homeless animals all in Florida. Like, in my neighborhood, dude, I think literally you could fill a whole neighborhood of houses to adopt animals. In my neighborhood, maybe not in Tampa where you live, the bouginess, but in St. Pete, it's trash.
I feel like you don't understand how funny it is what you just said. You said homeless animals. You mean just a regular animal? That's just an animal living its regular life.
I'm talking about like cats or dogs. There's literally homeless.
They're all animals. Not every animal deserves a home. You know that before humans were here with buildings and stuff, they was just chilling. They were just in trees and shit, like hunting. And then we were like, I want you in my condo. I want to own 2 of you and breed you. Like, these animals were here before us.
It is kind of funny. I have a cat. I have 2 cats. And what's funny is the one will leave my house maybe once a month and then walk around, and I think she thinks she likes it outside, but then around 10 p.m. she's like, no, I'm not being fed.
Yeah, like, it's funny, the whole concept of domesticating an animal is like, I'm bored. I want something I can give my attention to. These animals don't need us. Like, at a certain point, you feed it regularly, and then they need us. Like, then they're like, oh, dependent upon us, but we did that to them. If this thing was just born out in the... You ever went to the Amazon and just saw nothing? No, those things live there. Yeah. They learn how to hunt. But if you give him fancy feast every day and then you're like, go be free, like, yeah, he's a homeless cat.
Well, you know what I feel bad for is any of the weirdos that make their animals vegan. That's not even fair.
People do that?
Yeah.
People are criminals.
That's bullshit.
Me and Fluffy are both vegan. No, Fluffy is a hostage, okay? Fluffy wants meat.
Yeah, I'm sick of vegans. I don't know if you heard about that lawsuit where somebody was grilling food and the vegan next door, of course this was in Los Angeles, is suing them because she didn't like the smell of the grill.
To be fair, man, I was in LA. They're not that bad. There are people that are that bad, but they get clowned by everybody the same way we make fun of them. They get clowned out there too. Like the people who are like, how could you cook that steak 10 yards from where I eat my salad? And the same people are like, it's the same. They don't like them there either. Nobody wants those people.
Would you go back to Los Angeles?
Absolutely. I'm going back at the early 2020. So early this coming year, a couple months.
Do you have an agent yet?
Loosely. I have a college agent and I have a regular agent. But like loosely. Like yes and no. Like we have like a handshake deal of like, hey man, I'm not gonna do you dirty, don't do me dirty, but like also like I'm gonna give you your cut, but it's a long story, but yes and no.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's like I'm a big loyalty person. I'm not like, we need this contract so that I don't do you wrong. If that's what you need so I don't do you wrong, then I'm a bad person.
And you work every night so they know you're not just going to like flame out and ditch them.
Man, I bust ass. Man, I'm so tired. I was such a big person who was like, man, I need 12 hours of sleep to be productive. Now I'm like, man, I can live off of 4. Like
I need a minimum of 5. 5 and I'm good.
Yeah, I need a 4 in naps. I'm a big nap guy, but I'm king of the power nap.
My thing is 4 I can survive on. 3, nah. 3 I do not fuck with.
Oh, I've had so many dumb like nicknames, like King of the Boot and Rally, King of the Power Nap. Like I love a power nap, and I love when you go out and you went too hard and you got to throw up, but you still out for the night. Like, yeah. I love that. Like, the boot and rally is one of my favorite coined terms of all time.
Don't you hate when you're pretty drunk, but you're not like blackout, but you're having to make decisions, but your brain's not working? If that makes sense, like you're like, okay, I got to figure out how to order this Uber. I got to figure out, you know what I mean? Like you're not all blacked out, but like you're like, I got to make it home safely tonight. It's like a mission.
It's funny because like I know the moment you're talking about when you're drunk like that. And for me, I have a moment where like I go to do these things and I take a deep breath and I'm like, focus. Like I have to tell myself to focus, and then it's whatever text I'm sending, it's like precise. And then the Uber thing is like, it takes so much focus. And then once you get there, man, you're out of there.
There's no greater feeling than when you're out drinking and you're drunk and you get in that Uber and you know but then the best part is when you get out and you're home. There's no better freeing feeling.
The problem is when I'm drunk and I get in the Uber, man, I be spilling my guts. I be telling him everything. I be like, how's your night tonight? He be like, my night's all right. How's yours? And I'll be like, man, I rolled 7s and I wish I'd have had 11s and I lost all my money.
I was like that with my breakup last year where the poor guys were like my counselors. But now I just kind of sit there quietly because I just know I'm annoying them. So I just shut my mouth.
Yeah, there's a weird in-between point of like when you don't talk to the Uber driver, you feel rude. And then when you talk to them too much, you're like, I'm going to lower my rating if I keep talking.
I don't care about my rating. Mine's like a 4.7. So I think I've annoyed some people.
Man, I had a 5. A legit 5. Not like I had 2 rides and got a 5. I had like 80 rides. I had a 5.0. And then I took my roommate out. We got drunk, and then he called it off my phone, and he was being extra in the car. So now my rating's a 4.7. 4.97, but still, now I'm upset.
One time, like 4 years ago, I had to throw up, and luckily I got it outside of the car, and I gave the guy my number or something, and the next day he sent me a text and said I needed God, and he was a preacher. And it was weird because I felt like that was my low point, was the preacher cared about me.
When the preacher texts you and tells you, hey man, come see me, hey look, hey, you got to get rid of some of these sins.
That's when you know you've fucked up.
Yeah, but you know what? You know why you got that throw up outside of the car? God. God was like, don't you dare throw up in this preacher's car.
That moment, though, when it all reached outside of the car and not inside was like a freeing moment. I was like, whatever.
Because that preacher was in the front seat like, God, if you let him throw up in this car, he's going to die. We're not going to get him to his destination safely. 2 stars.
Do you believe in God's plan?
I mean, man, I don't know. I believe in hard work. I believe there's an entity. I believe shit happens for a reason. Like, I don't know. There's a lot that I don't know enough to say that I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, we can't prove it. We can't disprove it. There's a lot of things that happen. Oh man, I don't want to get sad though. Never mind.
Now, because we don't want to get sad, where are you going in 5 years?
Man, things are looking good. And I know that's a terrible answer because it's not like, well, I'm going to be on Conan. But like, no, 5 years, you got to think. I got to where I'm at now in 6 years. I've written for 2 seasons of MTV. I won Florida's Funniest. Like, I've got a lot of things in the works. I'm doing good. I still look 18. Like, I'm very fortunate. And the way stand-up is right now and the way that I'm projected in 5 years, man, I'll be able to buy my mama a house. And that to me is insane. With just talking into a microphone. That blows my mind. Like, that's the goal, is in 5 years to take my mom out of debt.
Where can people find your work and everything you're up to?
I'm terrible at social media, but Cam Bertrand.
You got to get better. Bro, for you to break out, you need to get better.
I mean, I get it, but like, I see all the social media guys, and I hate being in that echelon, because all the guys that I love, like all the guys that I look up to and respect, they frown upon the whole plugging yourself through these quirky, goofy videos and doing all these things. I get that that's part of the game, and I get that that's what we're supposed to do, but I don't know, man. It's just tough. It's tough to talk myself into that, into promotion like that. Like, even promoting myself now, like, it's tough for me to be like, go listen to me on this, or follow me on this.
Well, here's what Jim Florentine does on his show that's awesome. He goes,
Jim, I love Jim.
He goes, and Jim's been great to me. He goes, if you want to find what I'm doing, just look it up. I'm not going to plug it. Just go to my website.
That's the echelon of dude that I'm around, though. Like when I sit down with Jim Florentine, like, it's cool like that. It's literally that same energy of like, if you want to see me, if you want to know what the hype is about, if you like comedy, that's the guy that I am. I'm not the guy who's like, come to this show, because then, I don't know. It feels corny. It feels weird to me. But also, like, I know that that's part of the game that needs to be done.
Yeah.
So Cam the comic on everything. Just to be like, I hate plugging myself. Here's my plug.
Dude, keep killing it, man. You're going to be the future.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
All right. Peace out, Cam.
Bye, man. Thanks for having me.
Damn right, dude.